Hello, my name is Alexander Shemetev, and I would like to represent you my financial computer program. So, have you ever thought, for example, that a book in finance can be written in just 7 minutes automatically? You can do nothing at all. You can just not have financial competences, know nothing in finance, or if you know something in finance, or even you're a deep specialist in finance, computer may help you greatly in this field and do everything automatically. Yeah. A simple notebook like this, for example, can perform very complicated financial analysis. It can create analysis from actually in situations when a financial analyst can be unable to perform very good analysis, like for example data distortion or insufficiency of data. In finance, not all of data can be sufficient, or you can find incomplete data, or in some cases companies may have white and black balance sheets. Yeah, white balance sheet is usually given to tax bodies, to investors, to the third parties. It's like an open balance, but the true balance is black balance sheet, and you can not just have data what's going on in the black balance sheet and you analyze white balance sheet. If you use just common soft, you will receive, which actually works like a calculator, you will just receive trash in input, trash in output, or actually distorted input, very much distorted output, so that how it looks like. This is not a calculator, this is an analytical software, a very deep software. It will create billions of operations, yeah, and it will create the most appropriate way how to do this. Do you think it's very difficult? For example, this computer program is made simplified, as simple as possible, and you don't have to learn how to make a data input. It can do automatically, or when it will not find automatically inputted data, it may ask you to input the data or to show the file with the data. The file may be in a very simple format, even in Excel, like for example for this program, and the report will be written also very quickly. But this program will write a book, yeah, right now. You may just count time. It does nothing. Right now, computer does nothing. So it just doing nothing. For example, this software I created very simple. There are only two buttons. This is load financial data. So you just load it. Computer will try to load it automatically if it will be impossible, because for example there is no internet connection or something like this, or no database connection. So it will ask you to find data, to make an input or to show a file, even if it is in a very simple format like Excel. For this computer program it will be sufficient. It's just for simplicity, because I think everybody knows Excel. Yeah. And here is the other button, proceed financial data, and you will count time. It will write a book in just about maybe 10 minutes maximum. So let's look how it works. Now I will push the first button. My computer did not find any financial analysis, so any data, anything to analyze, any connection. So it asked me for a file. I will take just not, let's say, like some data. Yeah, some data. It's maybe not real company, so it's just for example. It's like an example data. So the data is loaded. So now I will push this button. Do you have a stopwatch? So let's consider how much time will it take. So I'm clicking. So I have made a click. What computer is doing now? So it's not very powerful notebook. I just took very simple notebook just to show you that even the simplest notebook will write you a book in just like about maybe 10 minutes maximum. Yeah, with creating human speech, with creating charts, making analysis of the charts, and make editing, formatting, everything. Yeah, and it may even represent you the report or the book in the simplest format. Yeah, if you're afraid that you have to learn some software to work with the report, so this computer may write a report in very simple way, like for example even in Word. Yeah, because I think everybody knows what. Oh, look, computer starts to make an analysis. Now it looks for the best way to perform the analysis. It tries to create a scenario for the future analysis, how to perform it. It analyzes very huge holding. It's just an example data, so example company and example holding, so it may be not real company. So if you, for example, make a trash input, the computer will notice it for sure. It will not produce trash output. Yeah, it will say you what did you input it, and if you have like distorted input, you are not sure if this is a real data or not real data, or if you would like to verify something. So computer may restore the data. Even if you have white balance sheet, computer may review black balance sheet, the true balance sheet with the maximum accuracy. So now computer found the best strategy to write the report. This is the first line, so it's analyzing the core of the analysis. Computer creates the strategy for the analysis, creating the best way to analyze a specific company, and then performs the analysis. Then, when analysis is performed, the analysis is in digital form, so it may be not readable for a human reader. Yeah? So now computer will start to think how to create a human readable book and report. So it also will choose the best strategy and will find the best way to perform the analysis. So now it finishes the analysis and starts to make interpreting, how to interpret the analysis. It generates human speech, it creates charts, it colors charts depending on what's going on in the companies, it creates tables. Yeah, and this is exactly the generation of the human speech. It's not just like made up templates where computer says the same words all the time. No, computer generates the human speech. It tries to explain in the best way on what's going on inside the company. It tries to represent the data. Just a reader could easily analyze it. I will show you the link to the book. I will try to post it in comments. I have two books written by a computer. Yeah. So the first book is written about the biggest oil and gas companies and holdings, so the computer performs an analysis. And the second one, computer writes book about analyzing specific big companies, regional companies important for specific regions. So computer creates analysis. You see that this green line, it's moving. So, and that's how the analysis is being performed. Now, what's going on? So, computer, just imagine, if you use, like for example, human to write a book, the human will demand a lot of time to write a book, and human may also be biased. The competences can be limited, or human can be not a specialist, Plus, most humans can't work 24/7. Yeah, they need to sleep, they need to have a rest. They also need salary for doing good job, and if they do great job, they ask for high salary. Usually, computer is something different. So computer may work 24/7. It doesn't need to have a rest. It doesn't need salary, and the cost of work of computer is negligibly low. Of course, there is cost. Like for example, there is a limited number of hours each computer can work. Nothing works endlessly. Yeah, so you can subtract, for example, 10 minutes the computer needs to write this book from the total amount of the hours computer should work. Yeah, and it's a negligible minimal sum, and this is the cost of the analysis. Plus electric energy, I think, but it also is negligible how much notebook eats for 10 minutes. I think it's almost nothing. So there is some cost, but it's nothing compared to human. Yeah, and it's very fast. So computer can do very fast everything. So what should I do and what should computer do? Computer actually does 99.9% of all the analysis. Human user is only needed to perform 0.01% of actions. For example, you saw I did this button click, then since my computer couldn't find the data automatically because it's not connected, so it asked me for a file, so this was my effort to show the file. Then I pushed this button, proceed financial analysis, and this is sufficient for writing a book. So there is some effort, I think. Plus, if you would like, for example, to make some additional editing, for example, computer does editing, it's quite good editing, but if you would like to make something like, for example, bigger tables, bigger charts, just a little bigger, or maybe more narrow, and the vice versa, wider charts, I don't know. So in this show, the computer will start to write a report soon. So it tries to analyze the strategy. This is the third line is running. So it will write report in something simple. I think this computer should write report in simplest program, in Word. That's how I created it. I wrote this computer program from beginning to the end. It's quite big code, and it produces billions of operations. Now all these operations should be in very short report, actually in a book. So it will read a book, it will write a book, it creates the best strategy to write a book, and I will show you how fast it is. After performing all the analysis, after doing everything important, computer will write a book for me. This is the simplest process. You see, I'm just doing nothing. I'm just sitting here, chatting with you, and I'm doing literally nothing. So no efforts from my side are needed. I could drink tea with some bread and butter, for example, that I like, or with some toast, and computer would do all the job. Or I can just go somewhere, walk, or do some other things. And computer does the rest. It tries to create the best strategy to write a report, and soon the report will be written. You will see it. So what I'm showing you the whole screen is that computer will write a book, I mean the final book, right here in the screen. I don't see it now. No. I think it's in the background process. Let's look. Here it is. Oh yeah. Here it is. I'm just computer wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So quite a lot of subchapters and chapters. Yeah, I'm just calculating subchapters. Chapters are 1, 2, 3. So I'm just doing nothing. I'm just talking with you. You see that the chapters are running. This is chapter by chapter or subchapter by subchapter, and they're combining in one book. Even editing is made by the computer. You see that I'm doing actually nothing. That's how it looks like. It's very fast. I don't do anything. Yeah. So how should I understand that the book is actually written automatically? I should wait. Computer will say it to me when the book will be finished. You see, if I would write this book, or if somebody else would write this book, it would not take 10 minutes, I think. Yeah, especially if this book is that big. I will send the link to this book to this video. I think you will, and I hope you will like it. So. Computer does everything. It generates the human speech, it generates charts, it generates tables, everything. So that's how it works. Yeah. What I need is just maybe a minimum editing if needed, but I can edit nothing. For example, if it would be a report and it should be stepped to some real folder after being really printed, so you need this intent, for example. Yeah. So you can change it, or computer can change it, or whatever. It's just very small change can be done, or some bigger table or some a bit smaller table, it also can be done by hand. But in percentages, it created the table of content and it clicked. It seems that it is written. So the book is ready. So how it looks, let's look. Let's go. This is our financial auditing. This is DuPont model. For example, computer generated speech, it generated charts like this, it explains all the ratios, it creates tables. For example, you see that there is the scheme, red, green and yellow scheme. For example, I understand that red, it's something that I need to pay attention to, yellow, it's something I can pay attention to, and green is okay. So, and if I would like to know what is this red, computer generated the human speech, it explains every and each indicator, what's going on here, what will be with this indicator in the future, what should we expect, and all the other necessary information, matrix analysis, scenario approach. It creates different scenarios for companies. So analysis of financial stability, life cycle. So, and here it starts complex analysis, also cash flow analysis, financial status analysis in classical approach, in complicated comprehensive approach, and for example, this is metric approach. This matrix looks maybe very simple, but for example, to calculate this matrix, computer should do some millions of operations. It creates from a holding functioning, it creates this diagram that shows for which funds some company or a holding exists. Yeah, so what are the core processes inside the holding for all the years performed for the analysis. So computer is not lazy, so it's not lazy to check all the scenarios, everything, to make all the calculations and to spend as much time as needed for this. And the time computer spends for this, it's negligible at all. It's just like maximum minutes. Yeah, so some minutes. For example, we see for this company that this red indicators are the core indicators in the company. So the first one is that having profit. Yeah, the holding has profit. We can so holding invests profits to its property, plant, equipment, and such things. So to its investment cycle. If the earnings will be decreased for some reasons, so the investment cycle can be decreased. If the investment cycle will be broken for this company, it's a crucial process for it. So the bankruptcy should appear within just like about 3 years. Yeah, everything is written there below to this matrix. So I'm sure it's written. So this is, for example, short-term liabilities, and they're turned just to cash. They're ineffectively used. Yeah, just taking liabilities. Yeah, and saving is just for having liquidity. So that's computer sees the trouble. We will see it later. So then it will be dynamics matrix. And what is the most important report? It's in the end. There is also liquidity analysis, assessment of financial performance, profitability analysis, business activity analysis, bankruptcy forecasting. I will send you the link to this book. This is, for example, Ochebalka methodology. It's from the Ghent University in Belgium. They tried to create a perfect method to estimate bankruptcy probability for companies that lasts for 42 years. I created the resolution for this method. It is not finished, I mean the research, so but, I created this proposition, and this is the most important part of the analysis. This is risk analysis, so that's how it looks like. For example, this is table with the most important risks. Yeah, so okay, that's how it looks like. I see that the red elements are the most crucial. So we see that the company has problems with cash flow management. Yeah, for example, and we saw what problem is this even by Blitz analysis. So by just looking how much time did they spend to look at this report, just seconds to analyze what's going on. So the most important tables in the end, I may see that the red elements are the one that are the most important. The yellow elements are the ones that can be paid attention to, and green elements are okay. I hope you enjoyed the process for automatic book writing. Yeah. The only time I spent is the time to write this computer program. Yeah, but now, for example, I spend almost no efforts to write a book. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for your attention.